One thing about the shiny metal, gold, is that it takes no prisoners. This is clearly a case of can't stop, won't stop. Won't stop, but we need pullbacks. We always need pullbacks in the market. And what we're looking at now, based on the daily time frame or the time frame analysis approach, is where price is now and what we're expecting to happen within a short period of time. Don't forget, can't stop, won't stop. You can see the shiny metal clearly without a doubt from the higher time frames, the daily D1, it is clearly an uptrend. But what is happening now? Before we even proceed, as we always say, anytime you are conducting any analysis strictly has to do with technicals and the fundamentals. So when it comes to the fundamentals, we always say it's good to check on the calendar. Find out if there's any high impact news, if there's any forecasted high impact news. We have news that is coming out at a particular time that is forecasted, and that is here on Forest Factory, right? And then we have breaking news. So today being Wednesday, June 18, if you look very well, we have what? Some heavy hitters for the dollar, for the US dollar. And that is none other than the FOMC. FOMC, as we already should know, is high impact. And this tends to come with fresh volatility that could easily distort the price action on any instrument whatsoever. And then as we've looked into this fundamentals based on USD coming out later today, well, it's a whole lot of hours, probably like almost 12 hours from now. But notwithstanding, crossing over to the chart from the D1, we ask ourselves what is happening. And you can see these areas here that have acted as resistance and then support in the past. Here was a high. Here's the all-time highs. Let's call it the ATH, the all-time highs for this year, as you can see. And then we have this area here that seems to be acting as a form of supply. So the question now is this supply, is it going to hold and bounce and drop? Or is it going to break and push higher? And then this now becomes a double top, a DT double top, right? Now looking at this, if you remember the last video that we did for Euro USD, we had a double top, and that was our area of interest. And we're able to get a position to sell over there. But looking at this gold now, this area is very, very key, very, very important here. This area of supply on the D1, on the daily time frame. We're going to drop down to the next lower time frame, the 4 hours, to find out what is happening in this area. Well, I know my charts are, looking very crushed. You can't see the candles and so on. But for me, I'm not interested in the candle formation. Well, at least not yet. Candle formation for me should strictly be when you want to pull the trigger, when you want to enter the market. So you might be saying, oh, why don't I, increase the size of the candles? Why don't I make it look a bit bigger like this? Well, it's up to you. But for me, I like to see and understand the entire price action, what price is doing, where price is, where price is going, and so on. And this is the best view for me. So moving to the next lower time frame, the 4 hours, we're going to find out what is happening some more. You can see now we should be getting more clarity on that area. Now this area here, we marked it here. As you can see some form of resistance. It broke out here. Now look at it, guys. It broke out over here on a pullback. It broke out here. You'd have expected this point here to act as a form of support and push higher. Remember our flip zones. We always say flip zone is an area that has acted as support and then acted as resistance in the past. Meaning that once the price does this again, we're expecting this to hold and then push higher. And if this doesn't work, and it breaks, then we expect this to hold and then drop. So from what we have here, from this chart here, where we have this point here, you can see this point here, this acted as resistance, it did not act as support. Now it's at the other side. So I'm expecting like this movement and then a drop further down. This is my bias. This is my own directional bias for today. Even with the FOMC coming out. Don't forget the FOMC high impact news. It tends to bring in fresh volatility. So you could easily have like whipsaws, you could have like slippage, you could have obviously spread increasing across the board for the USD, our peers, and so on. So this is what I have from the 4 hours time frame perspective. My directional bias is to the downside. It needs to do a pretty much a big, massive pullback. You remember, can't stop, won't stop. That doesn't mean that gold cannot still push higher, break out of these highs, and then use it as uh, 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 a flip and then push higher again. This is also obviously a possibility, right? But then for now, as long as this area is holding, my bias is to the downside. Then let's drop to the 1 hour time frame and then look for clues. 1 hour time frames, if you look very well, you can see some things happening here. Look very well. We're having some form of like highs and lows, and then we're having some like lower highs and so on. So if you have a look over here, I'm expecting this area to hold. And this area here where it is presently will be a good one for selling. You can see these highs over here that have, you know, acted as resistance. You can see them here moving to the left-hand side, acted as resistance. So this area at ART, A stands for area of interest. This area of interest, I'm looking for the reaction. You can see the reaction is it's still too early, right? Still too early. But in this area here, we are having some little reaction and then we wait for trigger to sell. Actually, that's what I'm going to be doing. Please, if you're going to be taking this as a signal, ensure that your stop loss, ensure that your risk management, ensure that your risk to reward ratio, ensure that everything is in the right order. And of course, you also know how you're going to be managing your trades with respect to trailing stop, partial close, and so on and so forth. So this is what I'm looking at here on the hourly time frame. You can decide to drop down in time frames. It's up to you. I could easily drop down to 5 minutes scalpers perspective, and you can see what we have over here. From the scalpers perspective, you could see some form of like, let me give you an example. Just looking at it, I'm not sure whether you guys are big when it comes to trend lines, but I can see something in this manner here. My hand is not that straight. I can see something in this manner here where price has already reacted, and then price could easily go back and test this same trend line here on the 5 minutes before dropping, right? So look for clues, whatever it is that you tend to use to enter the market. Look for it, place that trade, set your stop loss. Of course, calculate your risk, whether it's 1%, 2%, even if it is half, depending on your account balance and your risk appetite. Set these parameters and then let the market do its thing, and then you just manage accordingly. Don't forget, the market has to do its thing. It's not you placing a trade and you're wishing it's going to move in your favor. The price can do anything, right? From my years of experience, I've seen the price do countless of things, even give you like a massive whipsaw, take me out, and then drop in my favor. I'll be like, okay, good. That was probably news. You took me out, it still went in my direction. That means that my analysis was pretty much on the good side. So what do? I continue to do the same thing. Do not change your strategy. Don't hop from one strategy to the other, from one system to the other. Stick to that same strategy. Use it in and out, morning, afternoon, night. I was about to say morning, afternoon, dinner. Sorry. Morning, afternoon, night. Use it round the clock during the 4 sessions, Sydney, Tokyo, London, New York, and then find out when it works and when it doesn't work. And just start to make adjustments as you proceed with that one strategy. One strategy, guys, is very key, very important. If you're hopping from one to the other, you are only prolonging your success, your journey in this business. Okay, so this is the 5 minutes. So if you can get something here, we already know the reason for 5 minutes is to get a discounted entry where we could have a smaller stop loss and then of course be going for that take profit over here. You can see from this point here, the area you want to enter or the take profit here, which happens to already be a flip that has acted as resistance here and then acted as support here as well. So this flip zone area 3135 from 3394, that would be a good amount of pips. Let's find out how many pips that would be from this area here all the way down. That would be about 2,500 pips approximately. So trust me, this will be a good one if you can get your entry for short. Okay, so thank you guys. This is just a quick one, educational, analysis. You could call it signal or whatnot, but it's just a quick one to give you my own view, my own 2 cents of what I'm seeing, what I'm expecting, and how I'm going to be reacting to the market, especially based on today's FOMC, right? Okay, so thank you guys. If you have any questions, use the comment section below. If you're interested in mentorship or whatnot, or you just have questions, reach out. And of course, I'll do my possible best to answer you in good time. Okay, thank you guys, and goodbye for now. Cheers.